What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Airborne in the house, dropping you guys the latest and greatest cryptocurrency news and updates, bringing the energy to you guys here on a Thursday night. Glad you guys all can be here. Should be a good stream. It feels good to be back. I'm a little rusty. I put out one video yesterday. Not much going on today. There was two big news announcements we might go over today, but we got 6FIG in the house. Going to do some technical analysis for you guys. Maybe a special guest or two, so should be a good stream. So smash that thumbs up button, you guys, on your way in. Let's get started with our market overview. All right. Hope you guys are all doing pretty good. I finally got my basement finished because I had the pipe burst and whatnot. It's hot. It's hot down here because I got the miners running, and now I got like the insulation and whatnot. So my ears are like on fire right now. It's like 71 degrees, I think, in here. But yeah, let's get started. Market's been all over the place today, but we are up about 1.5% the last 24 hours. Let me just check. You guys can hear me, right? I think you can. Yeah. All right. So yeah, market's up about 1.5% last 24 hours. Bitcoin is up about 2.48%, even though it's been dipping pretty much the whole day, but we started to come up the last couple of hours, sitting at $36,771. Ethereum's only up about 0.2%, sitting about 2,381. We got Cardano's up 1.09%, sitting a little over $1. Solana's up. Luna's been down. I want to start filling my bags on some Luna. The more and more I do research on that, and thanks to Obiwan, if you're tuning in, kind of definitely got me onto that one. But it is down about 4.84%, sitting at about $53. I think my average bag's like 52. So, but I think anything under $60, he said's pretty good buy. Top gainers though, last 24 hours, we got Numeraire up 50%. Heard of that one? I don't know what it is though. Sitting at $29.62. We got Bounce tokens up about 19.28%, sitting at $15.22. Cody up 17%, sitting at 29 cents. Yeah, a lot of altcoins up. Sandbox, I know, is up. A lot of the gaming coins, Decentraland, I think, was up too. That's up about 11.71%, sitting at $3.35. Losers, Spell token, down about 29%, sitting at 0.0051. The Moss Carbon Credit, that's an interesting name, down about 19.12%. Pluton, never heard of that one, down 19%. Cryptex Finance, Polyswarm, we got a bunch of things down. Today is January 27th, 2022. What is today? International Holocaust Remembrance Day, National Chocolate Cake Day. That looks good. I'm still kind of hungry, guys. I didn't eat dinner, just had some snacks, so maybe after the stream, I'll binge on something I find in the fridge. Clashing Clothes Day and National Geographic Day. Crypto bubbles. I got my favorites. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, my computer crashed last week. That's why I wasn't putting out videos, and I tried to fix it. It ended up being my solid state drive. Just took a dump, so I upgraded. Got a 1 terabyte Samsung one, so my computer's running good, but I did have to go back, add all my favorites, all my bookmarks. I'm still in the process of doing it, even with like Photoshop, all my thumbnails I had to make. Oh, it's just a pain in the butt. But yeah, crypto bubbles. Everything's looking, balanced right now. I see, more green than red, but let's jump over to the favorites. I had to add all these again. Elrond up 6.3%. Stormex is up 5.1%. Matic, Dot's up. That's good. Cardano's up 1%. VGX down about 1.6%. VGX has been fluctuating between like $1.69 and like $2, $2.10. But I'm still looking to grab a pretty decent sized bag if it does dip. So I'm looking forward to some TA on that to see where we're at. I know 6FIG put out a tweet about a time sequence where we're at that right now. So I'm curious to get into that. Bitcoin dominance. Let's see. We're at about 42.94%. Coming up slowly but surely since the long downtrend since about 19 October. Bottomed out about the 16th of January, but, we've been slowly coming up, sitting at 42.94%. Crypto total market cap. We are down, trading a little bit sideways. We're at about $1.62 trillion. Still on that downtrend from that little over $3 trillion that we had back in, was that November, early November-ish time frame. So, yeah, bearish times, lots of FUD going on, not much, bullish news. I tried to find some for today. I got some, not much, but, the overall sentiment of the market's pretty bearish right now. But you guys think we're in a bear market or just a bear trend? I don't know. We'll hopefully have some people on here to discuss, and then I'll share my thoughts. Traditional markets. I think this is on the daily for the NASDAQ. Yeah, it looks like we're down. I know everything else is taking a dip, even with crypto. NASDAQ was down today. S&P was at, I think, down 0.54% on the day, but pretty much down since the 27th, trading sideways the rest of the day. All right, guys, that's pretty much I have for the market overview. Let's just check the comments. What do we got in the house today? Let me scroll back up. Let me take a sip of my drink. Drinking water, guys. Let's see. Nomadic. Over the next year, I'm thinking I'm going 4-way split every 2 weeks. VChain, CKB, Link, Matic. Do you think those are good choices, or would you swap out with some else? I also considered Luna, Crow, and BNB. So VChain, I'm long. I had a bag of that, but I don't own any currently. Definitely a long hold, in my opinion. Great time to accumulate right now. CKB is definitely long-term hold, up and coming, interoperability. Love it. Got a big bag of that. Link, it was doing hot. It is the best Oracle chain that we have. It's pretty cheap right now. I don't hold any of that. Matic, I have a good bag of that. I like that. Luna, love Luna. I've got a pretty decent sized bag of that. Crow and BNB, do not hold any. But yeah, make your own financial decisions. I'm just here on the internet telling you my opinion. Me, what's going on, brother? Always here. Thanks for the support. Donnie Darko. Hey, everyone just pulled up at work. I have about 10 minutes to hang out. Well, glad you can spend about 10 minutes with us, which is probably about 2 minutes left or so. Strike is in the house from Australia, coming from the 28th, the future. Let's see who else we got. Marcos, smash that like button. What's going on, brother? Who else do we got in here? Aldo, yo. What's up? Alejandro, let's go. Crypto Welder, what's going on, man? And Bobby Boots, what's up, man? How's it going? Good to see you on here. All right. Went through the comments, caught all up. 15 of you guys watching. Thanks for joining us. Let's bring in our number one guest, the man, the myth,
man.
6FIGSTOCKTRADER.
You're killing me. What's up, everyone? Glad to see you here. Thanks for having me, Airborne. Looking forward to the show you've got put together tonight. As everybody knows, it's no surprise. There's a lot of things moving the market right now. So what are you thinking right now?
I'm glad to be back on my computer. The first thing, man. I was so mad. I was texting you back and forth trying to figure it out. Yeah. I was at YouTube, Google, and I'm usually pretty techie. And we thought it was the battery on your motherboard. So I don't know if any of you guys are into PC and building computers. And I built computers. Well, I built a couple way back in the day, like in high school years ago. And computers, have changed, advanced throughout time and whatnot. But I told him like what was going on. It wouldn't boot up. It wouldn't get to the Windows screen. It would just get to my like main BIOS screen or the start screen or whatever. And he said that there's like a C120 battery, whatever. One of like the little small batteries that goes onto the motherboard sometimes burn out. And the computer is only 5 months old. I got it off a Newegg. So he's like, oh, swap that out. And luckily I had one, swapped it out. It still didn't work. So I was like, man, what's going on? Found a YouTube video. The guy's like, oh, you got to override this. Sometimes the boot order sequence gets changed up. So I tried that. No luck. And then I had some IT guy come out like 2 days ago, and he said it was a solid state drive, because then we took it out. He tried to connect it to his laptop and everything. Just kept getting a disk error. So swapped it out. Good to go. But I lost all my data. That's the thing, which I'm an idiot. So here's the kicker. So there's the solid state drive I had, 500 gigabytes. And then there was the 1 terabyte. I want to say it's, I don't know what brand it is, but there's a 1 terabyte regular hard drive on there. I wasn't saving anything to it. It was automatically defaulting everything to the solid state the last 5 months. So I have everything on the D drive, I guess? C drive, D drive, or whatever. So the guy came and he's like, he kind of like mirrored image everything, or I don't know. He's like, just put all your data stuff on the main hard drive, and then just for all quick shit that you want to do, just put it on the solid state. So that's what I did, and I had to go back. I got my Daedalus wallet for Cardano, resyncing to the blockchain. It's taking forever. I had to get my seed phrases. Luckily, I didn't lose any of those. And my MetaMask seed phrases. It's just been a pain the last couple of days. So, but I'm slowly getting there.
Yeah, no, that stinks. I think everybody's kind of felt that pain. Just having a phone go down, not having all your contacts backed up to the SIM, or just your laptop or computer blowing up, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm having one heck of a hair day today. But yeah, no, good to have you back up and running, man.
Yeah, glad you could come on.
Staff
We have some
those
special guests.
websites.
We should have some special guests coming on. Obiwan, I don't know if you're watching, if you want to hop on sometime. We got someone else should be popping in sometime soon, but I don't really have much planned. I have one article I did want to go over with you, but do some technical analysis. We'll kind of keep it a short stream. I always say that. We always go longer, but I'm really want to just keep it. I want to play some Oculus. I haven't played Oculus in weeks. I got it. I played the heck out of it, and then I kind of stopped. But my sister, she just got back from deployment. She was in Poland overseas. She got back, and my dad has an Oculus because I brought it home one day. Yeah, because I brought it home when I went and visited him in Ohio, and he got addicted to it. He's like 62 years old, and it's funny. He's like not a video game person, but he was just, oh God, this is awesome. And then all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm getting one. I was like, okay, but I don't think he's really played it. He bought one of the shooting games. It wasn't Onward. It was one of the other shooting games they have. It's the one where they just pop up. Like it's like a fate. It's weird. Some other shooting game.
Well, let's play some Onward.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get my sister. I don't know if she's watching or I got to text her. I don't know what she's doing, but I told her to download Onward so we all can play. So
that'd be fun.
Maybe we can play that for like a half hour or something.
That'd be game. Just get a little squad going.
Yeah. What else we got in the comments? Strika, what's good, 6?
What's up, Strika? Good to see you here, brother.
Crypto Welder. Looks like some good mining rigs back there. Yep. CK boxes. I got the Siacoin boxes. And then upstairs, I got a Doge mini miner, 2 handshake boxes, which you saw how Gold Shell is coming out with their the SC box.
I saw that. Yep.
So I wonder, comparing hash rate to what the handshake is, mining right now compared to the Siacoin box, like how much more of a difference it is. I'm curious to see.
It's going to be probably, I would say probably 5 times more. These are more specific to those algos, or more specific to those coins and algorithms. So, we got Siacoin and Handshake both running on different algorithms. The Blake 2B algo, and then what the hell is the other one? I can't remember. But the Terra hash rate's like 1,000, I think. Don't quote me on that. And I think for these HS/Siacoin miners, I think, what is it, like 250 gigahash?
Yeah, I have no idea.
So it's like, maybe it will be like at least you'd accumulate at least 4 times more. But what's nice about these HS Siacoin boxes is that, they mine a little bit slower, but they consume half the power as a normal box. Typically, these boxes consume 250 watts of power, or 215 to 230 watts, depending on what you get. When you're mining Siacoin or Handshake, it's only 130. So there is that kind of trade-off there. Obviously, you're not making a boatload of money. I just switched over from Siacoin, and I'm now mining Handshake. So I'm getting like 5 HNS a day, somewhere in there.
I've never done any research on Handshake. I don't even know what exchanges have that.
It's very limited. It's very limited. I'm just gonna mine a little bag, like a couple hundred, 300 or 400, 500. I actually had somebody make me an offer for 4 of my crypto mining rigs today, and I might do it might sling off like 4 of them just to get into some other crypto miners, because as of right now, I mean, I've mined 80,000 CKB. So,
wow.
I mean, if I just sit on that for a couple years until that thing hits like 50 cents to $1, like, damn, that was a great investment. So, You know, as Gold Shell comes out with these other miners and stuff like that, it might not be a bad idea just to mine a bag for 4 or 5 months and go on to the next coin, mine a bag for 4 or 5 months, and you know, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, I just pulled up DX Pool. I've mined about 48,000 CKB total.
Attaboy. That's pretty dang good, though.
Yeah, Coin total. I've mounted. I have 3. Let's see where I'm at. I've got about 14,500 Coins, and then
Okay.
Doge. Even though I just have one little mini Doge, let's see where I'm at.
Yeah, Sia coin took a beating. I sold all my Sia at like 0.0135 or something, and then that thing dipped down to like 0.008. It was a great time to buy, but man, you're at that point, it's tough to mine when prices start to get that low.
Yeah. For Litecoin, I've only mined 0.08.
Nice. That's not bad.
Yeah.
So I guess I've mined 81,700 CKB.
Okay, that's not bad. But yeah, I just remembered that they're coming out that SC box. So I don't know if I'm gonna get one. If I do get more, I have to get another power supply.
Yeah,
I've ran out of like space with all my stuff, so I'd have to get like a whole bunch of other crap. But
kind of in that same boat with you. You know, if I get another one, it's like, man, I'm gonna need a new PSU, and then I'm gonna need like more room. Well, I could probably squeeze a couple more on there, but that's it. But yeah, I'm at a point now where, like, you know, I'm drawing so much power back here. I mean, there's 1,000 watts, 1,200 watts. What these PSUs are running. So I mean, it's like I'm running, I don't know, like 50 light bulbs at the same time back here.
What's your temperature right now? Mine
on the crypto box?
Whatever your room. I'm at 71 degrees down here.
So currently outside it's 29 degrees and it's 68 degrees in my set. So,
wow, it's colder here than where you're at in New Jersey. It's 27, it says.
Okay.
We're supposed to have a winter storm here.
It was 30 below yesterday morning here, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was bad. Wednesday it was, yeah. It was crazy, dude. It was nuts.
Yeah.
So Crypto Welder asks, what's the cost on that setup? So as far as like the mining rigs go, if you can get them from Gold Shell, they'll run like these little CK boxes, run what, 700, 750. They dropped the prices again, so it's 750-ish, somewhere in there right now. The PSUs typically run $99 to $200. It just depends on what you're looking at. I would say I probably dumped, I don't know, probably almost $5,000 into this mining setup here. So not too bad.
I made a video. I know you made a video too, like initial setup and whatnot. I started with 2 CK boxes, the power supply, the equipment, all the cabling, everything, safety stuff. I spent about $1,800, I think, is what I paid. But I went kind of overboard with the safety, like definitely. But you know, I'd rather be safe than burn down my house.
Yeah, definitely good to have fire extinguishers. I've got one right, you know, off to the side. I've got a smoke alarm right up here.
That's got one thing I don't have down here.
Yeah, I've got everything tied into surge protectors.
Yeah,
man. But yeah, something.
Don't forget your little blower thing. Get all the dust out. Comes in handy. And I have a thermal gun. Check the temperature every now and then. But everything seems to be pretty stable. I don't have anything crazy. I've been running it for months now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who else we got in the comments. We got Crypto Welder. Both you killing it. Sweet. Ross, what's going on, man? How do you all stay positive when VGX continues to stagnate? I just think long term, I could care less about price. It could go down to literally 90 cents, 80 cents. I wouldn't really care. It just all depends on the person. Even with the entire market, I'm completely bullish. It's just a mindset thing for me personally. The whole market, I don't know. It's just the market. That's just me. Okay. Oh, that was a couple. Let's go. Marcos, what's up?
What's up, Marcos?
He's saying a 0.009 price on Siacoin.
Ask him if he met Ben today.
He's getting a CK6, I think, too, which is
He's
nice.
got it already.
Crypto Welder, you guys into buying NFT lands? I looked into it when it was like everyone was talking about it, but I didn't buy anything on, I think, Decentraland and Sandbox.
Yeah, I've thought about it. As popular as it is, when it comes to like the NFT scene stuff, I always happen to kind of trickle in after everybody else does on that stuff. So, I mean, I like the idea of it, but I probably won't partake too much.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We got Franco. I just replied back to you, but where do I get that sweet hat? There's this guy on Etsy that makes all these custom hats, the Richardson hats, and any crypto that you like, he'll custom stamp whatever and then put it on there for you. Send me a DM on Twitter. I'll send you the link. And for anybody else, Marcos, I wanted to meet Ben Armstrong today, but bad weather was developing at home, so I had to beat the wind and rain. I was talking about BitBoy.
Yeah.
Oh, was it the Texas blockchain thing or whatever? I think he was going to. Remember that. Chef, our old army buddy, shout out. Think about what Rob from Digital Asset News said the other day. People coming into 2016 have seen some big dips, but across 4 years, speed bumps. Yeah, I've been in the market for 4 years. I've been in the 2017 bull run, the summer dip, the dip now. It just doesn't even faze me anymore. Long term, fundamentally, it's gonna go up, in my opinion. I actually have a tweet that I wanted to pull up about that. Crypto Welder, Unbounded Earth on Cardano is cheap, and if it turns anything like Pavia, watch out. I don't even know what that means, but
I never heard of it. But thanks for the heads up. I might look into that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Appreciate your honesty. Yep, Ross. Anytime. I try to be as transparent as possible. Even though I am down a lot. I'll tell you that from November. A lot. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. We'll just keep it at that. But I know it's going to go back up. It's kind of, it feels like it was in the summer, and especially if this is your first big dip or whatever, you're probably just like, F this type of thing.
Yeah. But it sucks. Like, until you get used to like the market dipping 50%, it sucks like for me, I lost a little bit of money, not too much, but I've been pretty much holding a lot of cash on the sidelines, adding dollar cost averaging down, stuff like that.
Yeah. And we could have a whole other conversation about that. If you have all your eggs in one basket, if you have all your money in crypto, not a good thing to have. Just make sure you guys have multiple streams of income, or you at least pulled out something on the side and you're accumulating interest. You're looking at, layer ones that you're locking up in DeFi protocols, Elrond, Luna. You can go on, but look for that passive income. Crypto mining. It's not much, but every little bit all comes together and adds up. All right. Oh, Crypto TA. You can't see him, but I just added him to stream. You should be able to hear him. Crypto TA, what's up?
What is up? Did I miss the TA yet?
No, you didn't, dude. You just right on time. Good to hear from you, man.
Yeah, I had to cut dinner early.
Yeah, because you're out on the West Coast, right? So it's like 6:56.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Nice. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good, Just cutting back my YouTube schedule, to be honest, but I'll be for sure Tuesdays and Thursdays from now on. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Nice.
Good to have a balance.
Yeah, and it's like even when the market's down like that, like it is now, it is hard to put out videos. Like everything is just bearish right now. There's not any positive news. There's just a bunch of FUD uncertainty going on. It's like,
I've got some positive news for you on VGX. Just hang in there, okay?
okay.
There actually
Debbie
is
Downer.
there's a little bit of negative news on Voyager right now that I found.
Really?
That the SEC is investigating Voyager. I
yeah.
don't know what that's about. I didn't look into it that much, but it's interesting. They're just investigating it. You know, there's no like
it's
negative action yet.
I haven't taken
Gemini
a deep dive into that either.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I think Voyager and like some of the other exchanges, but I'm not.
It's
too
funny
worried.
though. It just seems like they're poising a scare at this time.
Everything, not
Right.
just Voyager. It's just like crypto, because there was the article I did want to go over real quick.
Let's break it down
here. Let me share my screen.
Is this the FOMO?
So, Biden administration to regulate Bitcoin as a matter of national security. So in the comments, as we go through this, I'm curious your guys' thoughts. I just briefly went over it. I went on Twitter. I tried to get a feel for what people were talking about. Let's just go over some of it real quick. Justin, Biden administration preparing executive action to regulate digital assets such as Bitcoin as a matter of national security. Layla Halpern said, "Don't worry, Bitcoin will be out. Will outlive Biden anyway." Kind of funny. Yeah.
I'll tell you guys my thoughts on this.
I'm not going to play that, but
I'll tell you guys my thoughts on this. You know, from a homeland security standpoint, you know, which I have been in that field, okay? And when we're talking about national security and cryptocurrencies, you really can't make that argument. Sure, it's another avenue for people to launder money, to transfer money discreetly. But if they want to look at the biggest threat to national security, what is it going to be? The US dollar is what is going to finance 99% of anything that could jeopardize any national security of any sort. I can almost guarantee that. So it's kind of like one of those things when people say, oh, aren't cryptocurrencies used for crime? Well, of course they are. Are they used to probably hurt national security? Probably. But not as much as the US dollar has done really across the world even. So that's kind of where I'm standing at with that. So it's kind of you know, I'm trying to really see through this bigger picture. I don't necessarily think that they want to ban it just because of some national security conflicts. I think that's a bunch of BS, and there's we all know there's just power. Yeah, it's just a power grab.
Yeah.
Anything that puts power into the people's hands,
right,
like us, they want to ban, which for me is bullish. Same thing with when you were on Crypto Wendy's thing and you talked about the Bitcoin mining with Russia, how they wanted to ban it. Then all of a sudden they came out, and I didn't get into the article. You know how now he's thinking about it, putting some regulations and stuff on the mining.
Right. I was just looking into that. I made a video on it. So the Bank of Russia was talking negative about Bitcoin and banning it, and then Putin comes out and talks, oh, they just want to regulate it. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, why you would think Putin would be involved in the Bank of Russia. So it sounds like they're playing, you know, a game of cat and mouse manipulation. To me, that was my speculation.
Putin wanted to buy the dip.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got $1 billion mansion on the, you know, some coastal city somewhere. So
or he's got billionaire friends that want to buy the dip, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
Like this.
No, nothing.
Biden's crypto regulations. Yeah, so I was going through this today, like on Twitter, just trying to get a feel, and everyone in the crypto market is just, it's a joke. They're just like, what a joke. Yeah, just real quick, just some of the details, even though we don't really know much. So they do want to have an executive order in the coming weeks to task federal agencies assessing risks and opportunities that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies pose. They're going to employ a cohesive regulatory framework that would cover Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and NFTs. They say this is designed to look holistically at digital assets and develop a set of policies that give coherency to what the government is trying to do in the space. Because digital assets don't stay in one country, here's what I think is pretty interesting. It's necessary to work with other countries on synchronization. So I'm wondering, like, who else they're going to work with. Like,
I don't know why it's any different than shipping a box of money or wiring some. You know,
there was a video that was put out by someone, and I think it was the UK Parliament or something. They're trying to adopt crypto. I don't know if you guys saw that video floating around today, but they want, they want to regulate it, but they want to adopt it for the good, to make cryptocurrency like a good thing, and like as a leader of the world for crypto in the UK. I saw a video on that today, but maybe they'll work with them. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This country's all crazy right now.
I just want to add to this whole thing too. Like, so like the government's kind of getting a little hypey right now, and you got to think like, okay, I'm all for if they want to clearly define some of the tax codes and stuff like that, so it's easier for the average person to know, hey, if I got to pay taxes on this stuff or not. So that's one thing you don't want to mess with, is Uncle Sam's cut, for sure. So if they want to go ahead and like maybe refine and clearly define some of this stuff, I'm all for that. But
I think I agree with Crypto Asset News. I see that comment. I think regulation is going to be great. It might cut out some of the projects, in my opinion, such as stable coins and some of the DeFi, but like lending, I think that's what they're worried about, staking and whatnot.
Yeah, they don't want the banks are just worried that, hey, we're not going to be able to loan out any money anymore because we are complete garbage businesses,
right?
Down to the root.
They don't want people to know that you can actually make a lot of money off of staking and whatnot, and interest, making interest off of other people's money.
Yeah,
that's their job to do.
But I think it'll regulation will give us a framework of what we can do and what we can't do, and allow the industry to grow.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, we need something just so the average person, won't speculate that cryptocurrencies is fraud, it's money laundering, so on and so forth. I think that for the mass adoption that we need for cryptocurrency, at least some regulation or some type of guidance. And they keep pushing it off. Like, they had the FOMC meeting I did a video on the other day. They had Jerome Powell came up. He just kept talking in circles. Nothing came of it. He was like, oh, come back. Well, maybe next month. And then, we're talking about it. We're looking at everything. I have a whole bunch of notes on it. I don't want to get into that, but they need to do something soon. So that's why the crypto market, I think, is just stagnant right now. There's just, even the whole world's looking at it. It's not just the United States. It's crazy how the world's markets revolve around us.
Revolve around this YouTube channel and live stream, for that matter.
Yeah. But anyway, I just want to talk that real quick. I was hoping Obiwan would pop in here. I haven't checked my Twitter to see if he could pop in. I'd love to hear his thoughts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We're already at 10:05. I only want to go to about 10:30 Eastern. Let me just check the comments real quick. Let's see what people are saying. Nathan, what's your thoughts on Scale? I told him in the comments I don't know anything about Scale. Crypto TA, do you know anything about Scale?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I've heard of it. I haven't. I don't know any fundamentals about it, or what it's doing.
Yeah. Strika says these are projects that are dangerous to us as investors anyway, the ones being removed. Yep. He also said if there are no rules at all, it opens up to bad actors, and the first few bad actors get through and set the standard. Yep.
If they want, if they could try to regulate some way to get rid of some of these pump and dump scams that just pop up.
Yeah.
I'm kind of for that, because, I hate people seeing their portfolios get wrecked and taken advantage of. But really, the Pandora's box that opens up there is, let's say you've got a legitimate project, but you just don't maybe have the credentials that the industry standard sets. That will be a barrier of entry to deploy your project on a blockchain or something. So I think, the silver lining and the double-edged sword, man, That's true, Striker. Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think. You know how like anyone create a crypto coin like that, like in the Binance Smart Chain, something where those smart chains put some type of, or they regulate it so not anyone can create it, because that's where all these scams are coming from, these pump and dumps.
Yeah.
Maybe there should be a process where if you truly want to come out with a new blockchain or a new crypto built on a blockchain, there's some type of vetted like process that you have to go through that to show that like you're legit and it's not a pump and dump.
Well, yeah.
In my head.
It's like penny stocks. There's pump and dumps all the time.
Yeah.
You know, they want to be able to regulate it in that regards. And I think that's a small piece of it. I think that they're worried about stable coins being a high risk, as well as the lending part too, like I keep talking about. But
yeah, I think for the most part too, like, you know, in general, when it comes to a lot of these pump and dump things, the crypto community has already kind of defined these pump and dumps, you know, just by the name pump and dump. And it's kind of, and just like meme coins, stuff like that. Very similar to what a pink sheet would be to the stock market in a way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
What's a pink sheet? I've never heard of that.
Penny stocks, OTC.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's where people try to get rich and die trying.
Cool.
Some people actually do pretty well penny stocks, like Timothy Sykes. You write it on the way up, you do your research, and then you write it on the way down. If it's a BS company, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time for some TA. If you want to, I don't know if we should start with Bitcoin just to set the overall tone, and then maybe do VGX. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, let's just take a quick peek at Bitcoin. I'll share my screen here. All right.
I'm bullish on Bitcoin right now.
Are you?
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I did have, you guys are friends with Norris Digital Assets. Wasn't he on your stream that one time when I wasn't on?
He was.
He was.
So
I watched it.
I got it pulled up here real quick. He had some good tweets the last couple of days that I was looking at. He's bullish still. Yeah, he said, good chance we need one more Bitcoin dip to the low 30s to complete this massive ABC running flat. Correction that started April 2021. Then I am hoping wave 5 of Bitcoin with alt season mixed in there. Bitcoin eventually tops out and then alts top out.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I'm hoping. I was talking to him about it. We're finally following he finally followed me. It's been a while.
So maybe if you know what he's talking about with the wave, Elliott wave or whatever, I said, I'm not TA like you guys, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
It's a very plausible, thing he has going here. So he's kind of thinking something along these lines, where this thing will end up. I think we could probably say that if we get this last impulse to the upside, I would say 82,000 to maybe 96,000, maybe even 100,000. I know that sounds crazy, but the golden ratio is right at 96,000. I think it's going to take a lot of convincing to try to get somebody to buy a $100,000 Bitcoin, though. Would you buy a 100,000 Bitcoin this bull run? I sure as heck wouldn't. No. So I think that, the 161.8 is coming in at 96K. Okay, I can get with that. Really, this wave 4 to 5, typically, not all the time, but typically it's somewhere, along the lines of, a 0 to 1 wave. You're not going to, traditionally see a super long span like from 2 to 3. But I do think that there is a chance at this point to at least maybe come up this high. I'm not sure what your thoughts are, Crypto TA, on this.
It makes sense. We don't know, right? Just because there is that wave there where you got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there at the top with it looks like an ABC correction.
I've been kind of studying this here.
It made it higher high, and that's kind of where I'm stumped. Technically that is like a wave 5, but it's still not out of the water. For wave 5 going up to what you just pointed towards.
Yeah, that is technically a completion of Elliott wave when you bring that up. So I mean, technically, we've got a complete cycle here,
Right.
for the most part. So we have seen a nice ABC correction from here as well, though. But when we're talking a humongous, multi-year Elliott wave impulse, I would expect a little bit bigger of a correction than this. Just being honest.
For pullback. Oh yeah, right.
On a grander scale here.
Yeah. If you look at the expanding flat pattern, that looks like it could go to 20K. And I was talking to Digital Asset Norris about that, or I can't remember what his name is, Norris. And that the expanding flat can go lower like that. And I just think that if we get below 27,000, 26,000, 20,000 isn't that far away. So
no. I'm a big fan of the weekly chart here. We could definitely see this price come, right down to this 24,000. No problem at all. Right now on the weekly chart for Bitcoin, things are not good. Price action is really trading hard through this Ichimoku cloud. Typically, in previous instances, when we've seen price action move below the 50 moving average and move below the cloud, we have seen the market turn, basically go into a bear market. There's 2017, 2018 here. We got this price action that came down, got that one single bounce off the 50, and then boom, it slid. Once it went through the cloud, got underneath the cloud, underneath this 50 moving average, it was over. Same thing happened back in 2014. So I think that, in the coming weeks, the next week or two, if we start seeing these candles close below this 37,000 and we've got free range candles underneath this cloud, this thing's going down to 26K for sure.
I'm fine with it going to 20K. I'm ready for it.
Me too.
I want the healthy price movement, the breathtaking, and then see some big numbers. As I think bullish regulation is coming. That's just going to send it into the stratosphere. Along with the breath, everyone's like, okay, now crypto's safe to get into. I'm going to start buying it. And that's when I think we're going to see mass adoption and this thing really run out to numbers that everyone's advertised.
For sure.
What about the Wyckoff crypto TA? Didn't you do something with Bitcoin on that, or was that something else?
No, not Bitcoin.
Is that CKB that you did that on?
On CKB, and it was awesome. And then it started to break out, and then Bitcoin shit the bed. And now it looks like actually, I was looking at this earlier, including 6FIG, that there's accumulation patterns happening right now in VGX. I've seen it in CKB. I'm seeing it in OGN. And it's looking pretty good at the bottom currently. So that's why I'm kind of bullish on crypto right now. And I don't think inflation is done in my stance.
Yeah. I still think we're just waiting for the regulatory framework from the government before we move back up. And whether this is going to draw on for another month when they have their next meeting to get clarification, or even into March. I mean, can you guys see us being bearish? Is there any time sequences heading into March? I don't know if you did a time sequence for Bitcoin, just as an idea.
So previous time sequences I've ran on the market, I've gotten a lot of major time sequences showing up in mid to late March. So, I'm still thinking like this spring might be a nice opportunity for price action. Like I said, there's going to be something big happening towards the end of March. But let's just go ahead. We can look at Bitcoin and
on a smaller time frame.
Yeah, we'll look at Bitcoin here and let's just throw up like a 12-hour chart. Let's see what we got here. Here we go. So I like this swing high here down to this swing low right about in here. And this is something that I've been kind of speculating on too with Bitcoin. Let's see if we get anything. So here's that March 25th time sequence. So if we do kind of head down, I think that we might get this bounce in March, and here's why. Basically, if Bitcoin, come on, TradingView. Sorry, guys, this is nuts. Okay. So if we start to see Bitcoin really kind of continue this trend line here, and maybe this trend line here, come on, it would make sense to me to maybe see it land down somewhere around this $25,000 level, March 25th, somewhere in there. And that could be a very nice bounce point for the market. Go ahead.
I looked up when the FOMC meeting is, just as an idea, and it's March 15th and 16th, just for
interesting
reference.
So this is 10 days later.
Yeah.
So interesting. And this time sequence is spot on. So if we go ahead and measure this swing high to this swing low, and the reason I measured to this middle one is technically I think this middle one was the lowest just by a couple bucks from these 2 points here. And it's kind of in the middle. But looking back in hindsight, it makes the most sense because this time sequence pinpointed the middle of this little upwards impulse here. And same thing right here. It just basically called the top here. So I think that, March 24th, March 25th, hey, if we see Bitcoin bleed down to these levels, and it might do something like this too. Who knows?
Fake out.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's faking everyone out right now.
It's really, I think the biggest test here is if we see Bitcoin fall below this $30,000 level and stay lower than that.
What's a bullish weekly close? Would you say for this week?
Let's talk about the daily. This, actually, I'm going to talk on the weekly. So if you had to ask me what a bullish weekly close would be on the weekly right now, I want this candle to close higher than 37.4. So we're almost there. We got 2 days, 21 hours left. So I would like to see this body in line with this here. I don't care about the scam wick to the downside. I just, if we can shift this body back upwards, I'm totally fine with that. But yeah, I would say we need.
We're in the cloud right now, aren't we?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time. So we're in the cloud. The rule of thumb is to never trade in the cloud. So, I'm making tons of trades, by the way, but we are seeing, this Ichimoku cloud, and we need to stay on top of it. Unfortunately,
Gotcha.
It is what it is.
You got any thoughts on that, Crypto TA?
Well, I was just looking at, because I don't look at those type of candles.
Well, the Heiken Ashi.
Yeah,
I can throw up the regular
on the
ones.
other chart or the other candles, it's positive for the week.
On the weekly
chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice spinning. It's a spinning top. Yeah. Yeah, the thing I like about the Heiken Ashi candles is it just cleans up everything.
All the noise.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting the way these candles work, depending on which direction the market's going. Each candle will close at the 50% point of the previous candle body. Or it'll open. I'm sorry. You can see that this candle opened at this 50% mark here. The same thing happened here. So it's just really, really, I don't know. Once I went Heiken Ashi, I never went back to anything else.
I'll have to look into it.
It's a Japanese trading form. It just really pairs well with the Ichimoku cloud trading, which is another Japanese trading style. But
right.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to look into things either. So I like it.
So that's good with Bitcoin. Man, time flies. I swear. There's 9 minutes before 10:30. I wanted to cut this off. Maybe we do some rapid fire, TA.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I did check my phone. So Obi couldn't make it tonight. I wanted to hear his views on, the Biden and the Bitcoin crypto markets and whatnot. So he sent a text in our group. I'm just going to go over it real quick just so I don't forget, and his thoughts on with the regulation and the executive order. He said that what Biden is proposing is a massive overreach of powers to stifle innovation, likely using it as leverage to get some Democrat bill to spend a ton of taxpayer money and forcing crypto taxes to fund it. Need to have the legislative branch put forth the law of the land. Any politician that isn't pro-crypto is going to face a difficult re-election campaign. The awareness is out on digital assets, even if the masses haven't purchased yet. This further legitimizes digital assets and is the fight before we win. We need the industry to form a war chest to counter what the bankers are doing to slow it down. Baby boomer politicians are owned by the banks, both sides of the aisle. It is the opposite of what we are seeing in the UK, which I was talking about earlier, and elsewhere in the world, where they're fighting to be a leader in digital assets, the same way the US was at the dawn of the internet. Getting this wrong will harm America for decades to come. Reminds me of the Rome clipping the denarius and diluting the money. Fall of an empire. America should be doing everything it can to move to Bitcoin and mine the crap out of it as a matter of national security. That's the direction they should be going. Very well said, Obiwan.
Here we have an opportunity to hog.
Yeah. Come on, America. Let's go.
Yeah. Whatever your country is, like, your country should be on board like El Salvador is.
Yep.
Trying to basically hoard as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Whether that comes through renewable energy, mining, or whatever, just do it.
Well, I think they just don't want to lose number one, being number one, the world reserve currency kind of thing,
Yeah. Technically, the number one world's reserves of gold belong to Indian women. Believe it or not.
Oh, because of jewelry?
Right.
I think I've heard that before. That's funny.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right on that. They definitely don't want to lose that spot.
Yeah, I think that's why they're dragging their feet and trying to be careful.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. Caleb Sheffield is one of my old Army buddies. I met up with him a while ago. I need to get him on. He's a smart dude. He's a teacher at West Point, major in the Army. But I think, him and Obi would connect, and Aldo. You guys all need to connect. But let's 10:24. Let's try to do some rapid fire VGX, and
let's do a little VGX here. And this is kind of where I'm at with this. Again, when I threw this thing together, it was very speculative. Very I guess speculative is the right word. But when we look at this on this 15-minute chart, this is the time sequence that I was referencing, January 27th. I've been talking about this now for like a week straight. January 27th, there's going to be a time sequence. There was a time sequence. And look at this. Like, I'm so blown away by how we can go ahead and measure something that happened back in April to really pinpoint a reversal point on a chart like this. But I think that this time frame, give or take a day or two, is really going to be a pivot point. Not necessarily this exact moment in time, but within the next day or two, I think that we are likely to see VGX possibly reverse. One thing I've been kind of keeping my eye on with VGX, and this looks like it has changed a little bit. Bear with me 1 second here, guys. Was this possible falling wedge that could be, flinging price action maybe into the spring zone of this possible Wyckoff pattern? I say possible because it hasn't, 100% developed yet. So I think when we take this into consideration, okay, there might be a falling wedge on the charts here. Very bullish sign to see. Unfortunately, it's not the greatest falling wedge that we've seen. I like to see like week-long falling wedges, month-long falling wedges. But we're talking a couple days worth of falling wedges. And I do
This
think that there still is a chance for it to maybe kind of wander down here, though.
Yeah. So there is another, I don't know if you're aware of it, but another accumulation pattern where it kind of goes sideways from where it's currently at.
Okay. Is that Wyckoff?
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
what they call schematic number 2.
Nice.
I'm
not too familiar with like all the rules and different parts of Wyckoff, but
I don't either. I just match it up and I know what it does. It's just a pattern. It's accumulation pattern.
Yeah. So you think that we could be kind of seeing this kind of trade sideways a little bit?
Trade sideways from those pivots there at the lower part of that wedge there.
Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me to see this price come down to like this $1.66-ish level and maybe retest this this support area.
I'm looking to buy another decent bag too. I've got some stuff I can move around and buy another good bag of VGX.
Are you sure? I thought you bought all of it by now.
I've got quite a decent sized bag, but I did the math on like all the stuff that I have and the fundamentals, and I don't know. I'm like pretty much all in on VGX.
Yeah, but I keep seeing you post and bought some more. I'm like, geez, this guy's buying it all.
Yeah, you're crazy, dude.
Hey, I bought some yesterday, so I'm happy for that.
Did you get to the first tier, 500?
No, so I had $500. Well, you're talking about 500 coins.
Yeah.
Well, I had $500 into it, but I turned it into CKB back when, it was breaking out. So
you gotta get to that first tier, and then once you start seeing the benefits of the program, I think you'll
wait. So educate me on that. Is that just like the staking part of it, or what do you mean? If you can, really quick. If not, it's okay.
Yeah, like you start getting the cashback rewards and the 1%. Let me just pull it up.
Yeah, and while you guys are talking about that or finding that, I'll just go to say somebody on Twitter was asking about the $5.50 VGX that I've been kind of talking about in a video. Well, I mean, that is still on the table. I'm thinking, like right now, price action is just way too far away from this Ichimoku cloud. I think price action is going to get reeled back into it. But if we look at this, the area we're at right now might be, the bottom of this head for a possible maybe inverse head and shoulders. And if this does happen, I wouldn't see why Voyager, wouldn't come back up to this $4.50 to $5.50-ish area, just based off, how gigantic of a pattern this is. Could easily see that number and possibly even surpass it. In due time. I'm not talking like in the next week. I'm talking like April, June. Elizabeth is in the house.
Yeah. Oh, she's talking about I need a profit-taking bag. I do. I mean, yeah, definitely. If it goes to like, I want to say about $10, I'll probably take a decent-sized profit and then just hold the rest. But we're waiting on the VLP 2.0, and if they're going to come out with like a super whale tier, because right now 20,000 tokens is the Navigator top tier. If you hold any more than that, there's whole conversations on Twitter Spaces about that whole program, and if they're definitely adding more tiers, like lower level below 500. But then the other talk was if they're going to add anything higher than 20,000. I know Obiwan, he has a whole thread that Steve Ehrlich, the CEO, actually commented. He's like, oh, great idea that you can look into. But there's a whole bunch of stuff on that. And Crypto T, I'll send you something that he has, just kind of like going over everything on it.
Okay.
1031. Well, is that going to be it, guys? I don't know. Should we keep going? We always say this. I mean, is there anything else with VGX that you want to point out?
You guys can see all my alerts I've got set on VGX here. In case this thing starts really cooking.
Hi, Filoni, what's going on? Baroness in the house. Oh.
What's up, Baroness?
Mariner or Commodore level at 10,000 would be perfect. Yeah, they'll probably add a 10,000 token tier because
Yeah.
right now it's 500, 5,000, and 20. The jump from 5,000 tokens to 20,000 is insane, like for the average person. So, and like I said, Obiwan he went on DJ Crypto's channel the other day and went in depth on the whole VLP program. Highly recommend going and watching that if you guys want to get bullish on the Voyager token. But every time I listen to him talk about it, I
There
just
he
want to buy
is.
more and more.
He's in the comment section.
Obi in the house. He's
He's
the
dogging us.
our crypto professional technical analyst, all fundamentals, DeFi king. What's going on?
Good stuff.
Hola, sensei.
Yeah, let's take a quick peek at the total crypto market cap.
Sure.
Just to see where this thing's sitting. Right now, bear with me 1 second. Right now on the daily chart, I mean, you can see that a daily chart is really, there's a symmetrical triangle that is formed here. We can see this because we can draw these little lines. And this is why I love Ichimoku Cloud trading, is simply because once you get a feel for how Ichimoku Cloud works, it kind of becomes like this sixth sense where, okay, I know right now price action is too far away from this cloud, and I do think that this might result in a nice bounce in the total crypto market cap right now. If you were to ask me, what's going on right here, we got this symmetrical triangle squeeze and we're right by the cloud. I mean, I would have been more likely to say, okay, we're too close to the cloud. This is probably going to be a continuation. But when I'm seeing this right here like this, man, it kind of reminds me of a point, like maybe right down in here. You can kind of see how, at least when we go to look at the candles and this cloud, they're pretty close to being the same distance apart. And I could almost argue that, this maybe even a little bit further away. So right now, I think the market may be due for a little bounce. Let me look at this RSI too. Here's another thing. A lot of people don't like the RSI and they think it's child's play when it comes to indicators. But hey, this is a great thing to really look for patterns, like falling wedges, rising wedges, blah 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 blah. Like, but we do have a very nice falling wedge in the relative strength index. So I'm expecting that this is going to start popping to the upside right along with this price action. We may in fact come back up, test this 50 moving average or even 200 moving average, to say the least. I'd love to see price action rip right through this cloud here. And there's a really decent chance that it might, because when we see these thinner bearish clouds like this, or even bullish clouds, it's very easy for price action to really move through those clouds versus like big, thick, bodied clouds. Like, let's just see, like this cloud here. You can see a big, thicker cloud rejects the price. So it's going to be interesting here. But I do think that in the short term, things are going to bounce. I did buy 1,000 ADA today, so
Nice.
I'm hoping.
So we haven't been this oversold, I think, just like Bitcoin since the COVID crash, right? In the RSI.
What's that?
We haven't been this oversold in the total crypto cap.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that. That's a great point. See, here is the COVID crash of 2020. Everybody remembers so well. And we'll just stick this line kind of off to the side. But this is where we're at now. And you can see that, hey, we're down there as far as the RSI is concerned. I mean, even going back to this dip that we had back in May, man, it's we're definitely flirting with some of these lowest points that we've ever seen in recent times. So yeah, it's definitely is what it is.
How big is the time frame from when RSI is oversold on the total crypto cap to like when it kind of peaks out? Like if you go back to, was it the COVID crash when it dipped below? What's that time frame from the bottom to the top before we started?
Let's really study this. Bear with me 1 second here. So here's the COVID crash, and I'm just pulling up a weekly chart. Even on the weekly chart, I mean, we can look at this and say we're at oversold levels similar to when we had the COVID crash. So if we can, in fact, get a reversal here, I mean, damn, what a run we might be in for. But we can see that this time frame, as far as the time frame is concerned, from the COVID crash to maybe this peak, which was, right here. Obviously, this wasn't the top of the market.
Yeah.
But that was 336 days.
Wow.
So are we looking at another 336 day bull run?
Run up?
I hope so.
We're talking about it. Yeah, that would be awesome.
I'm ready to take some profit.
Filoni said, will fib time sequence work on RSI?
That's a good question. I think it would. I can't say that I've ever used time sequence on RSI, but let's just get into this.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Looking back in hindsight, just off of this, it appears that it does. I don't see why it wouldn't. Here we are measuring a swing high to a swing low. It's really kind of, I mean, yeah, you could maybe argue that somewhere down in here, it predicted a top right around in here. It predicted a nice little rip to the upside here. So I definitely think that, that it can probably work. Let's use something. Let's rework this here since we got this up. I'm interested in this swing high to this swing low. And would you look at this?
Would you just look at it? It's like Ed Bassmaster.
Look at this.
Would you just look at it?
I was watching some of his videos the other day, and he was messing with some dudes on the park bench. And he was like, "Well, would you look at that sunset?"
Yeah.
Dude got so pissed. It
Yeah.
was so funny. You met him, didn't you?
Yeah, I met him twice.
I love his little Bartle do act too. That is some funny shit. So, all right. So just measuring this crazy coronavirus crash swing high to swing low on the RSI. Interestingly enough, it really kind of pinned, within a week or two of this little reversal point here. That's halfway decent. Nothing really so much here, but this is what I'm interested in right here, is how it predicted almost the exact week of the top of this part of the bull run. And then we've got this time sequence, February 14th.
That's the reversal.
Exactly.
Maybe.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we have downside until that time and then upside potentially.
Possibly. I mean, it's possible. Let's do this again. See. Here's this, dude. Remember how I've been talking about this May 23rd, May 25th date? Look at, we got the same thing kind of showing up here. May 23rd. There's showing some sort of possible reversal. So this is just, for the most part, very speculative stuff. I'll have to do some further research on the RSI.
I've never seen anybody do that time sequence on RSI before. But that's a great thing that Filoni pulled up.
Yeah, that's definitely the first time I think I've applied it to it. It's just not something you think of, and that's good to think up outside of the box. And if you can just be persistent at that, I think that really makes the best traders. Is
we just had someone pop in. We've got
I think that really
Obiwan.
About time you got in here.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just done doing dishes, so I thought to hop on here. Let me getting all these.
Nice. Gotta take care of it.
Yeah.
I read what you said about like your thoughts and whatnot on the Biden crypto regulations and stuff. I agree 100% wholeheartedly with that. Like, wow, America needs to step up. We need to drive innovation, cryptocurrency, and not get behind, because we're gonna be a third world country.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, or worse. I mean, not worse, but I mean, it could be UK for the last 30 years missing out on all the innovation that's happening in the internet. You know, you look at the companies that all the innovation happened in America with computers and with the internet, and we were pretty free. To be pretty hands off and let that industry kind of grow up and become what it became. Like, if we're around the phase of 1995 internet adoption, like can you imagine if our politicians back then had said, okay, that's it. Every time you visit a website, you're going to get taxed. The internet wouldn't have been able to thrive, right? No one's going to sign up for that. So, that's kind of what they're going to try to do here with the, Web3 and crypto assets, is that they're going to try to funnel everything through, hey, if you want to be on Web3, if you want to sell digital assets, then you are legally obligated to report, who's buying and how much profit they made. And that way we can get taxes from them. And, there may not be something so wrong with, getting some taxes in the space, but to stifle innovation and force jobs overseas and to really kind of put limitations on allowing that next wave of companies to kind of take over. Because, in 20 years from now, the top companies, the top networks will be hopefully decentralized and hopefully be, crypto based, right? Or digital asset based. And I would hate to see that all happen outside of the country. And I guess they're global networks, so it doesn't really matter that much. But I mean, we do tend to lead in this particular area. So it's just frustrating.
So you think they're going to put together a plan for next month's FOMC? Or you think they're going to drag it out to March? I don't know. I think they're going to see other countries like the UK. They're going to kind of wait to see what they're going to do, and then they're going to kind of piggyback or kind of do something with them.
I'm sure they'll exert their dominance through the dollar to try to come to some kind of agreement that's beneficial to America, keeping its status as the trade currency. I think that's mostly what their concern is that most of your commodities trading are settled in dollars, and losing that dominance would put us at an economic disadvantage. I think the world is a little bit wiser, though. They're not going to stand for, if there's a better way of doing things, and they shouldn't have access to the money printer and completely controlling that. I mean, I say that even as someone who benefits greatly from it. It creates, just as we have in this country, we haven't been compensated for our wages like we touched on last time I was on the channel with going off of the gold standard, right? It's the same kind of idea. That same wealth disparity that we see in the labor market here really goes around the world. And it's not that countries aren't capable of innovating and doing well and kind of progressing, but they've been held down by that wealth disparity because they're further away from the money printer. And we exploit them for their resources, but we do it diplomatically as opposed through force, until which point in time we have to use force. And then we roll out the army to the Middle East and say, we need your oil, right?
Give us your gold while you're at it too.
Yeah. I mean, this is the problem this is why I'm in digital assets to begin with. It's about the freedom. It's about, you can't take this by force. We will go around you. We will innovate faster than you can regulate and litigate. That's the revolution that needs to happen. It needs to happen worldwide and not just here. We should not be allowing governments to run money. Money should be private.
Yeah.
So, going back to that, what we looked at last time on your channel, Airborne, if if wages had gone at the same rate of GDP, and I understand it would have had to have been adjusted because of all the boomers entering the workforce in the 70s. At some point, wages would not have been able to keep up with GDP on a gold standard. But think about what that really means. If productivity is up 250 to 300% over the past 50 years, and wages are only up 100%, that means you should be making 2.5 to 3 times what your salary is today is really what you're worth relative to output. That's a big disparity, right? The amount of people that when we grew up, I don't know about you, but my dad worked a blue collar job, and we were able to take a vacation once a year, and we didn't have to worry about food, and my mom didn't have to work. That's literally impossible today.
Exactly.
You can't do that. We can't have that same life because because of fiat, government control of the money is exactly the reason why we get frustrated with one another, and we become divisive politically, and we forget how to have healthy debate and discourse and get through our differences because we're so dead set that, hey, the way I think is the right way and you're wrong. And we can't seem to get anything done, either in personal lives or in political lives, right? And families are torn apart because they don't get quality time with their parents because their parents are having to work multiple jobs, or both parents are working, and you don't have that togetherness, right? If they really valued family values, then they'd put us back on a gold standard, but they can't do it. You can basically link just about every problem that exists in the world back to that 1971 taking us off the gold standard.
Yeah,
it really is the money that causes most of the societal woes.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, Caleb Sheffield, preach. We got to have a conversation. He's one of my Army buddies. He's a major in the Army. He teaches at West Point, but I met up with him recently. He has the same mindset as us, like same thought of thinking and whatnot. And Caleb, write in the comments below what you think your thoughts are on all of this. I'm curious your thoughts, but yeah, I 100% agree.
Might be too many comments to write.
Yeah,
but no, I could go off on a rant. I don't want to deter everybody to see anything.
Yeah.
But it would literally, like, money is the problem that needs to be fixed. We need to get it away from the politicians, and we need to seize control back of the government. We need to actually participate in governance. It's less than 15% of the country that takes part in local elections and non-presidential elections. It's people that have money that will go forth and put their agendas in, propose it, put money in the back pocket of the politician, drive their agenda, re-elect them, and this cycle continues. We have to break the cycle. We need to, if anybody's interested in a nonpartisan way of getting involved, check out represent.us. It's about fixing problems. It's about ending corruption, and I'd like to see them make a movement to fix the money. That's what I think. Maybe I need to write them, but
yep, I agree 100%. I'm gonna kind of end that right there.
Sure.
And if you guys are interested, we do have a cool Signal group. Maybe we'll let some people in, but Caleb, yeah, I understand, can't in a public platform. 100% agree. I know you're military, whatever, but I think you definitely should join our group. It's awesome. Same thing, 6FIG. But let's turn the tables a little bit. I don't want to take everyone's time. I'm already over about 19 minutes, but I did want Obiwan to come on here real quick. Picture VGX. Picture, because 6FIG, man, I think 6FIG, did you hit your 500 tier yet on Voyager token or no?
I've probably hit that 500 tier 4 or 5 times here in the last couple of days. I've been playing the swings in VGX, accumulating more and more. I think I was able to accumulate 15% more VGX in the last few days, just trading the swings and just doing what I'm doing, trying to soak up as much of that VGX as I can.
Yeah. So, Obi, so like your elevator pitch, DJ Crypto, when I saw you on there, man, I'm so bullish. Absolutely. You're like the best at like pitching it. Can you do it in like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe just the VGX pitch and why you're bullish on it?
Well, okay. So my reason for owning VGX is you know, as much as I am a decentralized, freedom-loving individual, I realize that the majority of the market is not going to come in straight to DeFi. And so I need exposure to the centralized space in the market. And there's no better option than Voyager in the market as a publicly traded crypto broker with the team that they have, the tokenomics supply that they have, and the benefits that they offer. They're really in a league of their own. And they're also doing a good job of protecting their revenue streams and being able to fortify being able to pay those benefits, because they're not relying on just a single strategy like other failed projects that I don't need to mention. But there are other things out there that have not been as successful as Voyager because they don't have the leadership that Voyager does. Besides adding the utility of being in the VLP, that just sweetens the pot. The basic rewards are actually quite good, but when you start getting interest boosters and referral boosters and trading rewards, if you're an active trader, you can really make a significant amount of passive income, and that's only going to be improved. In terms of how the tokenomics supply is, if you can get in that 500 to 20,000 tiers to the adventurer to navigator today, when Voyager, if they were able to replicate what Coinbase did when they hit 1 million funded accounts, they did 2.8 million the next year in the middle of a bear market, by the way. This was 19 to 20. So I don't see any reason why, if Voyager executes on this checking product and then integrates stocks sometime in the second half of the year, that would be more than what Coinbase offered at the time, which was mostly just Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's totally plausible that this could happen. And if you do get into the VLP right now, where that would put you is really in the top 5% of their customer base. At 2.8 million customers, and I can put this up on screen if you want to visualize it for those that haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I just got something quick for you. So you mentioned that they're looking to add stocks to the platform.
Yeah, they will be
the first
crypto. Yeah, you can buy stocks with crypto. So that'll be the first. Yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah, I need to find the application that has.
I mean, that's a game changer. Just to blend those two markets together seamlessly like that, if you could do that, would be.
Can you see this, guys, on the screen? Okay. So what I was just going to show you real quick was this box I put together. So at 2.8 funded million accounts, and let me show you how I put this together. So what I did is I said at a 40% take rate, at 2.8 million projected funded accounts, with a 316 million supply. So that's roughly the 284 million we have now, 20 million for the growth pool in September, and about 1 million a month in staking issuance. That's 316 million tokens, which is a projected token count of 113 per account at 2.8 million customers, and only 40% of them gaining access to what I'm calling the Trailblazer tier, which is 50 token entry. So that would leave this kind of a breakout over here in terms of funded accounts. You'd have 60% of the accounts in the basic tier, and then you'd have, what did I have here? 36%, 35 to 36% in the Trailblazer tier, and then the remaining 5% in these top tiers. That's how exclusive it will be at a 316 million supply and 2.8 million customers. You're only talking 2,500 possible navigators.
Is this before expansion or after?
I'm projecting year-end numbers here.
Okay.
And it's interesting too, because those top 3 tiers will become even more exclusive once the price continues to rise.
That's right.
So that's going to be.
And then when supply shock, I think you might have mentioned that. Like, I think we talked about on Spaces the other day. What's his name? Thinks we're going to pull something potentially like BNB. Granted, we don't have a Binance Smart Chain, but.
Yeah, Noah brought that up at our AMA. So if you look at Voyager's customer growth, they're growing about 92,000 funded accounts per month. And I think what I did for the projection there, so it's going to take 4.3 months with 158,000 new adventurers to exhaust the supply. And I didn't even really factor in here, if they start paying 1%, 2%, and 3% cashback rewards, that's about, at today's prices, about $7 billion worth of spending Well, $7 billion divided by 1.1 million funded accounts is what? $7,000 a month in spending per funded account, something like that, right? So, yeah, the growth pool is going to deplete, is my point. And that what Voyager will have to do to continue to pay the rewards of the program is they're going to have to go to their exchange partners and open market buy, which is going to put the supply and demand equation tilted towards the demand side. And that's going to drive the price up. So this is kind of, how I've kind of ran the numbers in the model, and it's really exclusive. So again, the top 4 tiers in this case, so this would be your Adventurer Plus, would be 4.2% of the funded accounts.
So this is going to show that if every funded account buys a Voyager token, like how many?
No, this is 40% of the funded accounts. 40% of 2.8 million purchasing 50 tokens or more. So not even half. Yeah. I can change the model, by the way. If we said half, then it becomes even more. Okay. Right. Then when it's 5% in the top 5 tiers, right? It depends on what the participation rate is. If you drop it to 25%, the model would change, and you'd have less people in the top tiers. So even if they get to 50% adoption, you'd have 1.4 million accounts in the basic earning tier. You'd have the majority of the other tokens kind of skewed towards this Trailblazer entry tier that they need to add. And then the rest of them, you can see how scarce it is.
Mm-hmm. XRP Nick made a comment. He said, can't you not move majority of coins off that platform? Which you can, but is that taken into consideration the coins that are off, the tokens that are off the platform, or is this just within?
This is just VGX. This is just the VLP that I'm sharing right here. Okay. And you can move the vast majority of the tokens on the platform. The 70 assets they trade are transferable. Mm-hmm. There's just a few that aren't, that are on their own chain, but any of the ERC20s are transferable, and Bitcoin, Litecoin, Cardano, those ones are all transferable. So it's the big ones that aren't transferable are Luna, Polkadot, Doge, and Avalanche. And Cosmos Atom. Those are the top 20s that aren't transferable.
Voyager Duck, shout out to Voyager Duck. He said, is the company allowed to open market buy VGX from a legal standpoint?
Yes, they have to, because they're paying, that's the utility program. So they have to in order to keep doing the purpose of a utility token, they'd have to go out and open market buy VGX in order to pay the rewards that they're saying they're going to pay.
Yep.
And they get the 20. And so remember, this factors in that 20 million growth pool in September, and does not factor in any kind of burn, which Steve said is still in the plans for VLP 2.0. So you introduced, the burn isn't going to change much of the supply. It's more of a psychological benefit. But, I'm not even factoring any burn into these equations. And the reason I get to these VLP maximum tiers, the formula is quite simple. Anyone can do this. I'm looking at the projected amount of tokens divided by the required tokens per tier. And that's how I get the theoretical maximum number of customers that could be in the tier. So if Voyager only had Navigator customers and they had 360 million tokens, there could only be 15,800 Navigators. So this is the thing that I think a lot of people have a hard time kind of thinking exponentially or big picture. And, when you consider, the debate that I was having with DJ was, he was like, well, how's that going to be sustainable? You're paying too high of benefits here at these top tiers. This is what I was trying to illustrate. I just didn't have the time to put it together at that call. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, the number, you can't even see the bar here, guys.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't even show up. Wow. So in terms of 2.8 million funded accounts, these top tiers are extremely, extremely exclusive. So in terms of having a sustainable model, yeah, this model scales really well to about 6 million customers, at which point in time you'd probably have to revise either the token supply or the required rewards in the tiers would have to come down to sustain, more customers. That or the take rate would have to lessen. There'd have to be some kind of give and take here, right? So as demand starts to outstrip supply, and there's less supply on the market, you're going to have a supply shock. We're about 50 to 70 million afloat, depending on how much Binance has locked up, which we don't exactly know. And that's only going to last at the rate that we're buying tokens, just a few months. So they're going to blow through their growth pool in probably 3.5 to 7 months. That'll be gone. So by the time the stocks hit the platform, the demand should be extremely high for VGX because the company's going to be open market buying.
Mm-hmm.
So the second half of this year, if everybody can be patient and stack the tier that they want now, if they're able to execute and get to that 2.8 million that's forecasted, then the token should fly.
Yeah.
Hopefully to the moon.
Yeah.
I think he talked about, I don't know if it was DJ Crypto's channel or I read it or we were talking about it somewhere, with the debit card coming out and then getting the cash back in Voyager tokens, and however many debit card holders that you have are going to be getting that VGX too. So once the Voyager debit card gets released, people start accumulating it, they're going to get those Voyager tokens, which then essentially should raise the price, right? I think you talked about that. But that's if people hold it though.
Yeah. So if you're getting your checking account rewards and you're in the, I'm guessing that's a 50 token tier. It could be 100, could be less. I'm not sure where they're going to set the number.
Yeah.
But anybody who's in that tier is going to start getting cashback rewards for their checking account. They're going to get interest boosters and they're going to get referral bonuses and trading rewards. So that means they're going to start seeing, oh, if I just use the platform, I'm going to get more VGX. Oh, I don't have to just continually pour new capital in to level up. So then it becomes gamified, right? In a form of, hey, I can get to 500 tokens. Either I buy them or I sit and wait and collect my 7% my trading rewards and get there in several months. It's certainly doable. And so these first three tiers I put in a symmetrical level, right? 50 to 5,000, 500 to 5,000. They're all a factor of 10. But these upper three echelons, they're a factor of 2, 5,000 to 10,000 to 20,000. Because it gets extremely hard to move between these levels, which is why I put a mariner level in between.
And then you have that doctor dude on Twitter Spaces saying that he wants a higher level or whatever because he's got a bunch of buddies with millions of dollars who would, reap benefits of having a higher tier. It's a whole other discussion. I mean,
you've also got small business accounts and you've got high net worth individuals and stock traders, and when they start fleeing from Robinhood and from TD Ameritrade and E-Trade and they start coming over to Voyager to do some stock purchases and to buy some crypto, that's why I'm saying that even the international expansion is a little overweighted in the minds of most Voyager holders and shareholders. We'll see the harvest of those seeds that are planted this year in 2023 and beyond. But it's going to take a while for those customers to get onboarded and to, get involved in the programs. So, that's going to be more of a slow burn. What we're really going to see this growth, where we're going to see it coming from, is the 49 states that we're already in. Canada and Europe expansion in New York will help. There'll probably be a slight couple 100,000 account boost, and then it'll be a slow burn as those people then try to refer their friends and family, and then it grows like it did this year, where we went from 40,000 accounts at the beginning of 2021 to 1.1 million funded accounts by the end of 2021. That's the kind of possibility, right? So then you start thinking, okay, Metcalfe's law, right? Users squared. So 1.1 million squared is going to get you what? Double. That's 2.2, and then that's with just the existing products, right? You launch the new products, you're going to get some growth there. You launch the new geographies, you're going to get some growth there. And that also, not to also discount that they have 3 million verified accounts that just haven't funded their accounts. So once the checking product comes in, they should be shaking those down the funnel at somewhere between a 30 and 40% close rate, because that's where they've historically been, around 40%. Last quarter, they dropped to 33%. But that's just because they had that Mavs promo and a lot of people downloaded, but not everybody funded. So it kind of made the take rate a little bit less. Mm-hmm. But even if I were to lower the take rate here down to 33%, just to kind of mirror the most recent quarter, you're still looking at, kind of the same kind of splits in terms of the chart.
Yeah. I'm going through these comments. There's a lot of chatter. Yeah, Voyager Duck. He's wondering how many navigators there are today. I'd like for them to put out like how many like people there are in the VLP program and whatnot. I think, what is it, Celsius does something like that. They tweet about, certain things.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're legally they can do that. You know what I mean? But it would be nice just to know, because then if other people see it, oh man, I got to get into this program. You know what I mean? Because of the token supply, kind of from a marketing standpoint, I think that'd be something beneficial that they could do.
I think the reason that they haven't is because of it would kind of show what I'm showing you here, that the most vocal and out there people that are really into Voyager are going to be in these top tiers, but it represents such a small percentage of the funded account base.
Mm-hmm.
It might be perceived as bad news by people that aren't looking at the big picture, like I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
So if you had these numbers in front of you and said, oh, there's only 500 navigators currently, so there's a recency bias involved in all this, right? We have a form of an echo chamber, being a community of heroes where a lot of us are Explorer Plus. And, we see on Twitter, because of who we're following and what we're seeing, we see a lot of, high rollers and navigators being minted, right? But that's because that's what we're seeing. In terms of the 1.1 million funded accounts, I would estimate there's probably today 1,000 navigators. So it's not as big a number as you actually think it is.
Yeah.
It's a recency bias in what we see in the echo chamber.
Yep. Yeah. We're in our own little like crypto Twitter space. Like, sometimes people get in these bubbles. They can't think macro perspective, like you're talking about, like the everyday average person. Like when I go out and talk about cryptocurrency, people don't even know like what Bitcoin is. There's still people, like, we're still so early. We're in our own little bubble right here, guys. If you guys are watching the stream, if you follow me, we're still so early.
Yeah.
Like it's all about perspective.
Yeah. That's my belief in terms of why they haven't released the numbers. The other reason why is, like, you saw Patrick Ackerman's, he posted some articles on Medium that were really well received and got everybody excited, but they were based off of roughly a 40 to 50% take rate. And when the funded accounts came in around 1 million, like he was projecting, and the take rate wasn't at the 40 to 50% range, it kind of invalidated his model and his price predictions, right? The other thing that invalidated it is that the VLP 2.0 moving to a 7% staking as opposed to open market buys, and the tokenomics with the merger increasing kind of impacted his model.
Yeah.
But my model here is all about users and breaking those users into the tiers and the potential benefits that, if the company were to adopt this model. Not only do I believe it's sustainable in terms of, like, these rewards are possible. Now, granted, I don't have their P&L and their balance sheet and how much they've allocated to spend to the loyalty program, but I do believe, based on the potential user splits, that these higher rewards are sustainable for a smaller number of customers. Like, we are talking here, 15,000 customers, or probably 100,000 customers total in these top 4 tiers. Mm-hmm. So again, 90 to 95% of the rewards are going to be paid out at these basic and trailblazer levels. So if you're paying a small group of people higher percentages and higher benefits, it's going to keep those high rollers on your platform. The other thing that's going to be really price accretive, make the token go up, is when they introduce the new products like lending, like collateralized lending, and people choose to lock up their tokens.
That's going to be me.
Take a loan instead of sell. That means that the supply is actually locked. Like, right now, all the token supply it's liquid staking, and there's no lockup. So yes, 72% of the supply is staked, but the only thing holding that supply there is people not wanting to give up the tier that they've earned. Mm-hmm. And you just heard 6Fig just mention a second ago, he's even willing to give up his tier and trade in and out of it based on the technical analysis he's doing.
You're a trader, though, 6Fig.
Yeah, he's a trader. But I'm just saying that once he starts, well, maybe not after this session, he won't be. But
I hope.
I'm long VGX. I just know that we're in this chop right now that I can take advantage of. But
yeah,
I definitely this thing's getting ready. So I'm
Get
not
to
going to miss on the bet.
20,000. Get to 20,000 and then just trade with whatever after that.
I'm waiting for that 100,000 tier, man. It's not worth it for anything under that.
Well,
I kid.
Yeah, I know you are. But my point is that if you do have a firm lockup, one of the ideas that was floated out is, a certificate of deposit like lockup, right? So if you lock up, say you were to lock up your token supply that Voyager was then able to use to pay rewards. Maybe they gave you 9% instead of 7% on your Voyager as a reward for locking it up in a CD. So say I wanted to lock up like what Binance does, a 90-day lockup to get 9% at a certain token supply level. That could be a way that Voyager can help, distribute tokens and lock up supply, which helps the price of the token go up, which makes their marketing dollars go further.
Yeah,
that would be sweet.
Yeah, and then there's the counter side of that, right? So whether you're a saver and doing a certificate of deposit, or you're a borrower and you want to take profits off your VGX, but you don't want to sell your VGX, you just want to borrow from it.
Yeah.
That's the collateralized lending piece. So in that scenario, the flip side, right, you'd be foregoing your staking rewards because you're borrowing. Now, that can be implemented in two ways. It could be a borrow where you, just like on Celsius, right? If you provide Bitcoin, you don't earn interest on that Bitcoin, right? You then take the loan and do what you want with it. Ideally, you're earning more with that loan than you are giving up. It'd work the same way here. If you were to give up your supply to take a loan, then you'd want to have additional supply above your tier to continue to pay you some passive income, right? Through their trading rewards and staking. So it motivates people to hold more than what the tier is if you're going to utilize lending or loans. The other option would be is if, like in DeFi, one of the popular things out there with like Alchemy X and the quality and, I think there's probably a few other out there, but those are the two most prominent on Ethereum. And what you can do there is you can deposit your digital assets into a smart contract. Meld on Cardano is an upcoming one of these products. And what you can do is you're borrowing off of your future yield. So you say I locked up 10,000 tokens in the Mariner tier because I needed the 7% for the next year. I needed that now. I had a family emergency or I needed to buy a car because the car broke or something, right? Then I could borrow off of my VGX 10,000, 7% that I'm going to earn this year for a down payment on a car. And then once the loan repays itself, then I start earning those rewards again. Or I can pay back the loan early and then start getting the rewards again.
Right.
So there's different ways to implement lending products. Those are a couple ways.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
excited for the crypto lending stuff. At least just for all these people that, like I said, they maybe got their money wrapped up into crypto. They don't want to force a sell and some other tax liabilities. And then for people that, hey, they might have a decent bag, just like you mentioned, can make that interest. Maybe they want to try starting a business. Maybe the car is broken down. Man, I like that.
Right.
Gives people opportunity.
Right. But it also puts more demand into the supply-demand equation.
Absolutely.
Of locking up the token, right? The more demand we have, the higher the price per token. So you've got, not only do you have people trying to get into a 50 token tier to get checking account rewards and interest boosters, but you have people on the high end that maybe want to participate in margin on stocks, or maybe they want to take that collateralized loan, or maybe they want those black card tier benefits when the credit card comes out, and the Navigator credit card is a black Voyager card and gives you VIP lounges and access to private jets and all sorts of crazy black card tier benefits, right?
That'd be sweet.
It doesn't have to be tied to the debit card program. You could still have this be your top tier. It will be the top 0.25% or less of your customer base. Like this is the high roller tier. We don't need anything above this. Again, at 2.8 million funded accounts, 33% take rate, you'd have 0.07% or 2,000 of your accounts in that category.
Man, I'm early.
We're all early. If
Man,
you're
I
in
must be
Voyager
in,
now and
I
you're
must
in
be in like the
CFP,
0.01%, I think.
yep.
But yeah, that's some good stuff, man. 6FIG, you have any questions on that? That's his
man.
elevator pitch, man. That makes me so bullish.
Yeah, thank you for that presentation, man. That was killer. I missed the one that you'd given on DJ Crypto's channel, so this was really refreshing
Sure.
to see it laid out. So
yeah,
great job on this.
Any final thoughts, you guys? Definitely going over time. I'm trying to. That was awesome, Obi. Definitely, thank you for talking through that.
I got something for you guys here, real quick, super quick. I'm gonna share my screen. And you guys get in on these commies at all? The NFT project on Nervos? You pick any of these up, Airborne?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. I know they went live today or yesterday, I think.
Today. They went live today. They're like 5,555 CKB.
Mm-hmm.
But man, they're just crazy freaking NFTs, I think.
It reminds me of those animated screensavers or desktops.
Yeah. So I tried to do that already, but it wouldn't let me. But yeah, I thought the same thing, and like I'm gonna try to get one of those digital picture frames that
yeah, that's one thing.
This or something.
Obi, are you into NFTs? I don't think you've ever talked about that.
No, I have a couple, but I'm not. I'm more in NFTs for their practical applications when we start having digital identities. And we brought this up on the chat. Bloomer actually, after on Wednesday night, was having an NFT topic discussion on Spaces, and it was about NFTs. And one of the things that concerns me about NFTs is NFTs are like, if you say you had like a mechanic and they were selling their services and you had an exclusive number of redeemable coupons that you prepaid for having this NFT, and that gave you access to 5 repairs of a car. And the mechanic, when you go to redeem that service that's already been prepaid, neglects to fulfill their end of the obligation. How does that get resolved with it? You don't have, you have to bring some form of the analog world's litigation and dispute resolution and Better Business Bureau and types of ways of getting around that, right? And the smart contract doesn't necessarily, it's a guarantee that you have made an agreement, a peer-to-peer contract. You've exchanged something in a form of escrow. But what happens when one party doesn't live up to anything that's future sold?
Yeah. There's definitely you could definitely see NFT projects and stuff like that go under in time. No question about that. Definitely.
I need to have a whole nother stream on NFTs because I was big into NFTs a couple months ago. I haven't been into it a lot per se. There's so many NFTs. What I'm seeing now is all these entrepreneur people and stuff that I followed years ago. Everyone's getting into the NFT space, and they're saying that the NFT space is going to kind of break away from the crypto space right now. Macro perspectively, it's going to separate from the bear market type of thing. So there's some guys I follow now that are using their social platform to build these NFT projects. They're hiring all the developers, and they're shilling these like NFTs. And I don't know how I feel about it right now. It's just there's so much right now getting into it. But like you said, I'm looking into utility. If I want to get an NFT,
right,
with this guy that I'm following, Peter Voogd, I think his name is, but you can look him up. He's been showing this project. He just launched it. But if you buy his NFT, you get a part of his mastermind program or whatnot. So like you get so there's just different benefits type of thing, but it just all depends. So it's kind of like a gray area right now. I think long term, I think NFTs are going to be definitely useful. But like with this project with Kami, it's like, is it just digital artwork? That's pretty much it. There's no other utility behind this, Kami.
Yeah, so there will be, but just by holding these NFTs, you earn native tokens, which can be used for games and stuff like that. So you can earn tokens that could possibly be applied to future projects that they do as well. So there is, for the most part, it's just art for the most part, and the treasure hunt stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's the other thing with like me getting in NFTs now. Like when I first got into it, I got into the Badass Bulls. I put out some videos.
I love that Badass Bulls.
Everyone's
you got
getting
me into
it.
that.
Yeah, and I got into the Discord. The guy just went off the wall. He's like, he's getting in. He's got like personal stuff going on. He's like, we're reevaluating it. So it's like basically about 99% of the projects that are out right now are probably going to fail. And Gary Vaynerchuk, if you guys follow him, he talks about this. He said that if you're going to start an NFT project, think 5-10 years right now down the road. If you can't develop an NFT project, like think in that terms, it's probably going to fail.
Think of it this way: how many artists are there out there? Starving artists, right? That's a saying. So, how many artists are out there, either professional or hobbyists, compared to how many Van Goghs and Picassos and Andy Warhols and Banksys are there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's tens of thousands of a percent that make it big. Same thing with NFTs. You'll have millions of NFT projects and copies. A very, very small percent will make it.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, you have like the big ones, and then you have all the celebrities like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club. Those are only still around because they were one of the first ones there, and like you got all these rich celebrities buying them because I think the floor price of Bored Ape Yacht Club is like, I don't know, ETH. It was like $220,000, whatever that ETH equivalent is. I looked it up the other day. So it's like kind of a status thing just to hold these, but I don't really know too much. Do NFTs make passive income? So I know some of these NFT projects you can make money on it. You got the Platypunks I've done videos on, where they give back to the community, where they go and buy other big NFT projects and they give certain revenues back to the holders. Like it gets crazy in depth, but it's just.
Well, if you're doing that, why don't you just go into Particle Foundation and buy a real piece of artwork that's already by a prominent artist that was bought at Sotheby's?
Yeah.
I mean, why would you have to go into the digital form? Like, I just, where I think it really kind of makes sense is if you've got loyalties and publishing rights and those types of things. But also the design of NFTs are heavily impaired by Ethereum. It's very easy to get scammed and rugged. And like with Elrond, for example, the tokens are native and you can have built-in royalties built, in the actual NFT, and the token is a first-class citizen, right? And you could already build that into your project, whether it's gaming or payments or art or music publishing or anything. So the blockchains that have a better design that eventually it'll shift to those, right? It'll shift away from the Solana and Ethereum's into better technology.
Yeah. Caleb made a good comment. He said he'd like to see NFTs used for defense against deep fakes and asymmetric information warfare. Use them to validate, verify legitimate source of information more than art.
Yeah, digital ID is going to be really important in the future because of those AI improvements and rendering capabilities. We won't be able to distinguish what's real and fake sometimes. And having something that has to be verified, and whether a hardware key or some kind of biometrics, is going to be an important advancement to determine fake or real.
Definitely.
Yeah,
man, we could have a whole nother stream
For
on
sure.
NFTs. That gives me an idea. Man, we should do that. Bring some of our NFT experts. Baroness, is
Yeah,
Baroness real big? She said that she's real big into NFTs.
She's learning more from the development side of it right now, and how they work on the back end and how to make them. I'm not sure if there's any artwork tied to them yet. I think it's just kind of digging deep into the smart contracts and how tokens are issued more so right now.
Yeah.
She can correct us, of course, if I misspoke, but
yeah. Elizabeth, great idea, Caleb. All right, guys. I think I want to wrap it up real quick. We're at 1 hour and 54 minutes. I wanted to go an hour, but this was great conversation, guys. Really appreciate Obi coming on. Crypto TA had to pop out, but thank you to him for coming on. Obi, thank you for coming on. 6Fig, thanks for coming on. Any last words, Obi?
I mean, to me, it looks like a buy. I think the market's oversold. There's a lot of fear out there. Don't throw, if you've got any dry powder left, don't throw it all in now, just in case there is a further dip to those summer lows. but plan on a good project or a good network that you want to participate in, and put a little bit in and start buying more aggressively the further it goes down. The more aggressively we buy on the way down, the faster things will snap back and the higher your profits will be, because you're buying more at lower prices.
Yep. 6 figure.
I thought Obi-Wan was going to say, "May the force be with you," or something like that for a parting statement. I mean, come on, man. No.
Yeah.
No, thanks, man, for having me on, Obi-Wan. It was nice seeing you again. I always enjoy running into you on these live streams. So, yeah, thanks for popping in and giving us your presentation. Yeah, overall, 2-hour live stream. I thought it went really well. Felt like it was 15 minutes. So
time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, always good. So
now I got to get timestamps. I tried to do timestamps as I was going, but great stream, guys. Definitely appreciate you guys coming on. Smash that thumbs up button on your guys' way out. Really appreciate it. Should be doing a VGX Heroes Hangout tomorrow night with some new faces. If you guys do want to tune into that one, should be a good stream.
I'll throw one more comment in here. Don't forget to vote, and don't forget to write your representative about how, or call them or email them, or all three, about how you feel about what's going on in the government, whether from the executive or legislative branch. Support pro-crypto representatives, and make sure that you let the sitting ones know that if they're not on board, they're not getting your vote.
Yeah, 100%. That's a great, yeah, definitely a great idea.
Cool. All right. Thank you for everyone in the comments section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll be putting timestamps out, tweeting this out. And
right after you get that rash cream on.
Yeah, the rash cream. All right, guys. Take care. Crypto Airborne.